Good afternoon, YouTube. Welcome back to Phatkat Collections. Got another awesome Nubeo watch for you today, and this one is the Rare Blue Ventana. Now, Rare Blue is the color. I call it baby blue or sky blue. I love this color in watches. It's summery, it's fresh, it just reminds me of just being on the water. It is a great variation of this watch. They do make the Ventana in many different color variations. I have it in red, I have it in a few other colors, I think black maybe. And, you know, it is just one that I keep requesting because it's such a simple, cool dive watch. 50mm case diameter. It is 50mm lug to lug, and that's because it has integrated lugs on this. So it is part of the case. So 50mm in all direction. You could add a few millimeters if you want to count the crown at the number 4 position, but it really is out of the way. As always, with this watch, link is in the description. Coupon code is in the description. By the time you see this video and maybe want to make a purchase, it may be available, it may not be available, and the coupon code may or may not work. It just depends on the sale they have going on. Right now, we have an early spring sale going, 70% off. So give it a try. These watches are flying out the doors. Nubeo is really making watches that give you a lot of bang for your buck and a lot of quality. So what is the Ventana? So the Ventana ROV is one of the most experienced scientific submersibles in the world. It's renowned for its over 4,100 dives, inspired by its powerful machine. This timepiece is what it's inspired by, right? I don't know if you haven't catch my other videos. Nubeo is basically a watch company that makes watches themed after the ocean and of course space. And they do some kind of one-offs, which a lot of the Space Invaders, Atari kind of video game inspirations. But this one, ocean themed. And obviously, based on the color, one could say that. But they've made this color in different watches that are space themed. So the colors don't really have anything to do with what it's inspired by. But this is inspired by the Ventana ROV, right? And so I think this is kind of a loose kind of inspiration. I know I've said it in many other videos I've done with any themed watch. This watch can really have been named anything, and any claim can be made for its inspiration. But sometimes Nubeo does a great job at theming their watches. Other time, it's kind of loose. Really, this watch can be themed. They could have said this is a space watch. They could have went ocean, which is what they did. They really could have done anything with this watch. I think they make a Star Trek variation as well. But ultimately, the main thing that really, to me, screams ocean on this watch, and not necessarily the color, because you might get it in black, right, is just the face on it. And so the face is kind of real wavy, and it's meant to kind of look like, the water, right? That's really about it. Obviously, this baby blue, one could associate that with the ocean, but, what if you get it in red, right? It's not really, it's a loose kind of, representation of the Ventana ROV. But nevertheless, I get why they do it. That's kind of their claim to fame, their themed watches, space, ocean. And, this is a fantastic watch, nevertheless. A great value. Right now, it's going for $379 if you can get your hands on it. These have been selling like crazy. It is just a very popular watch, because it allows people really to kind of dive into the world of larger timepieces without a lot of bells and whistles, right? It's very simple. We have a basic, I believe this has an NH35. They refer to it as an automatic 3 hands with date. Generally, when Nubeo refers to their movements like that, it's generally the NH series. They're using, either Miyotas or Seikos, or I think PST or PSAs in their tourbillons. But overall, they outsource the movements, and they're using quality movements, right? And anybody who knows anything about watches knows that an NH35 is a fantastic movement. It's really all you need in a watch, because all these watches tell time reasonably well, no matter what you spend on them. Helium release valve on the side, great quality stainless steel construction, 316L stainless steel, and what else? 17mm in case thickness. It has a nice tall wrist presence on it. It does have a sapphire lens. That is a checkbox for many folks. Screw down crown, 24mm silicone strap on this one here, and 100 ATMs of water resistance. One thing I like about this watch is basic 24mm lugs. It's not a proprietary strap. If you want to buy this watch and change it up with a white strap of your choice, it doesn't have to be something you get from Nubeo. It could just be something you find on AliExpress, eBay, or Amazon. You can change it up with a black strap, a silver strap. A bracelet will look fantastic on this. I've never thrown one of these on a stainless steel bracelet. I may do it with this one, but I think what really kind of makes this watch pop is kind of the coordination between the baby blue bezel and the baby blue strap. But it would look great on a bracelet as well. I think a nice AliExpress 5-link bracelet would be cool. And it is worth mentioning, I wish Nubeo would do more variations of their watches with stainless steel bracelets. I know they recently came out with their, what's the other one? I'm drawing a blank on it, but one of their watches, which traditionally always came on silicone, the newest release, I'm going to try to get my hands on it, is on stainless steel. So pretty cool. I like when they do that, and I think Nubeo is kind of dropping the ball a little bit when it comes to the bracelets. I think, you know, they're making a lot of these, and a lot of people will say these are Richard Mille style. People say that whenever it has to do with a colorful silicone or rubber strap watch. It's not. It's its own thing. I call it the big flying saucer donut, right? It's just big. It's round. It almost reminds me of something Aragon might do, you know, at one point in history. It's a great quality watch. And when we talk about quality, what do we mean by that? We mean the check boxes I always like to refer to when it comes to reviewing watches. Materials, right? What do we have? Great quality silicone, 316L stainless steel. Perfect. That's really all you need in a watch. Other features, sapphire crystal, although I do think it's not as important as the quality of the case, but stainless steel, sapphire crystal, most scratch resistant, but no matter what you get, you're probably not going to scratch it. They're all relatively scratch resistant, but it does have that sapphire. I love the fact that it has a basic integrated 24mm strap. Again, you can buy whatever strap you want. Should the strap fail, you're not going to have a hard time finding a strap. You're not going to end up with a watch that's just going to be a paperweight, right? Moving on this NH35, it's really all you need. Whether you spend $100,000 on a watch or, you know, $2 on a quartz watch, they all tell time reasonably well, and the quartz watch is always going to be the most accurate. However, an NH35, you're getting that automatic movement, which is my preference. I like not having to worry about the battery. You're getting a quality, time-tested movement that's been around for a very long time, and you're getting, you know, it's nice when you buy a watch that not only has great quality construction, but has a reputable, well-known, very well-respected movement in it. Now, for those who don't like this type of video content, I know I show you the watch a little bit. Every review I do now is going to have 2 videos. This standard format that I've been doing for many, many years, decade now. And then, of course, the close-up shot. So I want to do 2 videos. Some folks just really want to see the detail of the watch. So I'll put the link to that in the description, as well as my coupon code and the link to this watch. Pick it up if you can. Unidirectional rotating bezel, nice and easy to turn. The pip lines up perfectly at the 12 o'clock position, and it doesn't have any kind of movement whatsoever. I mean, the quality coming out, and I believe this is made in China, I'm not 100% sure, but generally you don't need to have Swiss made anymore to get great quality. Remember, modern machining has come a long way, and they're making amazing watches for a fraction of what it cost to do it back in the day. Screw-on case back. The inspiration on this is from the Ventana Rove. It's a, looks like it's a submersible, excuse me. It says it's the most experienced scientific submersible in the world. I think that just basically means it's had probably the most dives, right? 4,100 dives. So when you look at the inspiration on this, when Nubeo themes a watch, sometimes they do an amazing job. They really put a lot of design aspects in the watch, hence like the Cassini I just reviewed that's inspired by the video game Space Invaders. They made, you know, I mean, if you see when you see the video, there's a lot of design elements from the game that go into the watch. With this, not so much, right? We don't really have any kind of pictures of the rover. We don't really have anything on it that really ties it to that. So when you look at this, one could say this was themed after many different things, right? The ocean, a shark, like you can kind of pick whatever you want. It just, Nubeo had to come up with a story. That's what they do. They make themed watches, and the watches are named after either spacecraft, planets, anything space related or ocean related. So they got to pick something. That's what they did with the Ventana. They named it after this particular ocean rover. But, you know, ultimately all that really matters is, do you like the watch? And when I look at this, if I am going to kind of nitpick it about the theme, the only thing that really says to me ocean on this is the face. On this particular model, done in like this kind of pearlescent silver face, which has like these wavy kind of ripples, which kind of mimic the ocean, right? That could also mimic sand. Like you could say that this was, one could tie any theme into this watch, really. But overall, ultimately, the most important things is, do you like it? You know, and I absolutely love this watch. I think it's great quality. It looks good. Again, baby blue may not be for everybody, but this watch, I do believe by the time you guys watch this video, it's going to be sold out. So if you do want to get it, and it's available, click the link in the description, check it out. If not, there's other color variations as well. And, you know, let's just say you had to choose a different color variation. Maybe you want the all black. You can still find yourself a baby blue strap, and it'll kind of give you the same vibe. So very cool. I like these watches. They kind of remind me of, when you have standard lug widths like this where you can easily find a strap. Reminds me of the old Jacob & Company watches, right? Although nothing like that. what people liked about those watches, the ability to change the straps and really kind of customize them, you know, and really kind of change the whole look of the watch. And so you can do that with a watch that has a standard lug width. Which again are integrated into the back. So 50 millimeter case diameter, 17 in case thickness, has a nice tall wrist presence. Some may like that, some may not. Just depends on the person. Healing release valve. It's a fantastic piece, which is why I keep requesting it. This watch definitely sells well, and in all honesty, all the Nubeo watches are. I think this company is definitely, of all the Dartmouth brands, this company and Spinnaker are doing extremely well. Of course, they're all nice. You know, it just really depends on what you're into. But if you haven't added Nubeo to your collection, definitely do so. They are having some amazing sales right now, and I feel like with Nubeo, what I've noticed over the last year or so is that they're really getting competitive with their prices. Brands, our other brand like RGMT, another crazy watch, awesome. They don't do a lot of direct-to-consumer sales, so I'm hoping to change that. They really focus on their distributors or their retailers selling the watches. So when you click my link, you see these cool watches, you go to their site, then you want to buy it. Sometimes it's cheaper to get it somewhere else. So that doesn't really work, right? It's not important for me to give you a huge coupon code on a big inflated MSRP to give the watch to you guys for a good value if it's either never in stock or if the price that you're going to get it from directly from RGMT is higher than what you can get it from other sites like Amazon, right? So I'm trying to, hopefully they're going to kind of change that marketing plan, but they've done it with Nubeo. So Nubeo, you know, they're going to have, a lot of companies are going to have the inflated MSRP. Don't listen, don't pay attention to that. What matters is what the watch actually sells for. And Nubeo watches generally are always on sale for the most part. My coupon code will always put the watch on sale. Even if they're not, you'll always save 50% even when the watch is not on sale. But overall, you know, these watches, if you get your standard watches in that price range from $200 up to $400, you're getting a fair price. If you pay, you know, what do they have the MSRP on this here? Let's see. You know, $1,500, don't do that, right? Don't pay $1,500 for an NH35 watch, right? That's just not, you know, when you start getting into pricing like that, you're going to have to start having movements like Values, Solitas, ETAs, and ultimately, even with that, that's just to me an excuse to charge more. Sure, those movements on paper probably have some different technology that make them, you know, maybe a little more accurate, but at the end of the day, all these watches tell time reasonably well. They're all made really in nice quality, and you don't really have to spend a lot to get a kick-ass watch. So without further ado, let's throw on the wrist. I weigh 176 pounds. I'm 5'8" and I got a 7-inch wrist. So this is what it looks like on a guy my size and my height and my weight. I have to put it on a 7-inch wrist. I have to put it on the second to last. So if you have a 6.5-inch wrist, you could probably get away with wearing this watch. Anything smaller, probably going to be too small for you. One could add another hole if you were, you know, delicate, or you could change the strap to something that might fit you better. But Nubeo really should have put a few more holes in there. There's no reason not to do that. It'll probably go up to a 9-inch wrist. You have a lot of extra holes here. So one thing with these silicone straps, you kind of have to move the final loop out to the end to keep it from flapping around. But it's a killer looking watch. I'm matching up with a baby blue shirt today. It definitely complements well. And this is definitely one that's not going to, this is not going to be around very long, trust me. All right, folks, well, there you have it. Nubeo Ventana in the rare blue color. Check out my other videos showing this watch under 4K macro, where you're only going to see the watch under really great lighting. And if you have any questions, let me know. I'm here to help. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a fantastic day, and take care.